Hi world, it's Keely and I'm back for another video. This is going to be the Booktube Newbie Tag. I should preface this by saying I am not technically new to Booktube. I started my channel in 2014, so I've been on Booktube for 11 years at this point, but I, within the last like 6 to 8 months, decided to remove all of the videos from my channel, and I took a break for a while from social media and from making YouTube content because I just needed to kind of like recalibrate my brain. I also changed my channel name last year from what it originally was to what it is now, which is Keely Reads. And since I'm like new to Booktube within the last couple weeks, I decided that I would redo the Booktube Newbie Tag and kind of, reintroduce myself, let you know just a little bit about me and why I made the channel and all of that fun stuff. This tag, I don't know who made it. I found the prompts on somebody else's channel that I've been watching. Ellen from Ellen Made Book Club. She's great. I will link her channel down below so you guys can go watch her. But she did it and I was like, oh, that's actually a good idea is to redo this because I've mentioned the fact that like old videos or that I've been on Booktube, but I don't have any of those videos posted anymore, so it could be kind of confusing. Let's just go through the questions. First question is, when did you start reading and what book or series got you into reading? I started reading when I was really little. I grew up in a household, thankfully, where we had access to books and my dad was a huge reader, and then because of that my sister became a huge reader and then I became a big reader. And my dad has always said that growing up my mom would give us toys and he would take the toys away and put a book like in our crib and just keep exposing us to it. And then as a kid I loved Babysitter's Club, Little Sisters, Pony Pals. Does anyone remember Pony Pals? I read all of the Captain Underpants books when they came out. It was a mixture of like those kind of books and then going to the library and getting as many books as they would let me check out. That's kind of how reading for me got its start. Question 2 is, why do you love reading? I love reading for a lot of reasons. It's just like a comfort thing. I've done it since I was little, so it's something that I've kind of always done. Taking breaks at different points for various reasons, but it's just one of those hobbies that I've had that makes sense to me. I was surrounded by bookshelves growing up, and then it's something that I continued, and in college I had a bookshelf in my dorm room and in my bedroom. Then when I had an apartment, and then, we moved out for grad school and I had a bookshelf and all of that. So it's very much a comforting thing to be surrounded by books. But also one of my favorite things ever is learning new things. I'm one of those people that will probably be in school in some capacity for the rest of my life. I graduated in 2015 with my master's, and since then I've taken formal classes through different programs, and I've also informally done classes just on my own through online resources like Coursera and things like that. And I am now back in school again, not working towards a degree, just taking random courses from the local community college. It's just a way that I engage with the world and engage with my brain, and at different points different books have meant different things to me and helped me through some hard things. Lots of different reasons why I love reading so much and why I surround myself with books. Number 3 is, where do you read? Everywhere. Basically anywhere and everywhere in my house. I read in the bathtub when I'm relaxing, I read in bed, I read in my office, I read downstairs on the couch, I read when we go to the park, I read if I'm a passenger in the car. Anywhere and everywhere I like to read. I actually have a reading chair in our bedroom, but I tend to camp out in my office more or read on the couch. But yeah, anywhere and everywhere that I can read, I have access to books. I'm privileged to have access to books anywhere I go because of my smartphone. I have the Kindle app, Libby, Hoopla, the bookshop.org reading app, the Apple reading app. I have lots of reading content on my phone at any given time so that I can always distract myself with reading if I need to. Number 4 is, what kind of books do you read? All kinds. I primarily, for fiction, love to read fantasy. That's like my main thing. And then I also really enjoy like spooky books, horror sometimes, occasionally a mystery or a thriller. I occasionally read historical fiction. I'm reading a historical fiction right now, but it's kind of like a spooky historical fiction. I'm looking around at my shelves, and the majority of the books that I have are fantasy for fiction, but then I also read a lot of nonfiction. I read a lot of history nonfiction, social justice, memoirs. Basically, if it sounds interesting to me, I'll read it. The only things that I don't typically read are like self-help or finance. I don't read a ton of poetry. Every once in a while I will, but I typically don't read a ton of poetry. I enjoy classics. I have a lot of classics on my shelves. If it sounds interesting to me, I will try to read it. That's basically it. There are genres I gravitate towards, but I'm open to trying a lot of different books. The next one is, why did you start this channel? So there's two different times that I've started this channel. So let's go back to the first time. In 2014, I was finishing up my first year of my graduate program for social work. And we lived in Philadelphia, me and my now husband, we lived together in Philadelphia in West Philly, and we're using public transit to go everywhere. And I was struggling, really, really badly struggling with my mental health and with my place in the world, because everything changed from what I knew to what I was then experiencing, and it was a massive change. So much had changed. By May of 2014, I was really, really still struggling, considering leaving my grad program, and I ended up finding Booktube. I found Max from Well Done Books, Whitney from Witty Novels, Reagan from Peruse Project, like watching all of these people talk about books, and I was like, hey, I could do that. I read. So I needed an outlet. Smash cut to now. And when I created my channel name was A Bibliophile's Journey, and it was that for 10 years. But I was really feeling like I wanted to switch it up. I wanted something new after 10 years. So I changed my channel name to Keely Reads, and I decided to come back to Booktube because, again, I needed that sense of community. And also because with the way that the United States is kind of working these days, I was really feeling like I needed to come back to this, nice community that exists, and to you guys, and then also to speak up more about access to education and helping people as much as I can with that process. So that's kind of my intent in coming back, was I need this to feel comfortable and welcoming and resourceful for people. Like, I want to be able to do something with this knowledge that I have of navigating these systems and hopefully be able to help people. Plus, I just like reading, so why not talk about books along the way? Next question is, what are some fun and unique things you can bring to Booktube? Oh boy, I don't know. My personality, maybe? I don't really know. Maybe the type of books that I read, the variety of books that I read. My reading has gotten more diverse over the years, and that is always my intent, is to continue to diversify my shelves and to get more perspectives and just learn as much as I can. I think I also bring with it this mindset of being trained in social work and working in the field for 12 years at this point, including the years that I was in grad school and doing internships. Maybe like, and the knowledge that I think I have of accessing systems and navigating systems and how they impact people, and being willing to have a hard conversation and to read about hard things and talk about it. That was something that I had started at one point, and then it fell off because I start a lot of projects and they typically fall off after a while. But one of the things that I was doing was a Tough Topics series for my channel, and I do actually want to go back and rewatch some of my older videos and make them public again, because I think some of them were helpful for people, and I mean, I love to think that, I hope that they were, but I had this Tough Topic series where I would read books about topics that people tend to shy away from or not necessarily want to talk about unless it's something they're directly experiencing. And I, being a social worker, and then, well, being trained as a social worker and then being me, I'm very willing to have a very hard conversation. And so some of those topics were like grief and loss, and another one was dementia and Alzheimer's. And so I would like to do that again. I would like to get back to doing that, is having a diversity of books, so not only in genre, but also in author and perspective, but then also talk about those books that I'm learning from and covering the different topics that are challenging for people. And that's what I'm doing with my online class right now. I'm learning about genocide, and that is a really horrible, hard thing for people to talk about or consider unless they've experienced being in an environment where that's normal and happening. So it's something that I want to continue to bring to my channel, is like a different perspective, hopefully, but then also just like a cool environment where you can hang out and you can read whatever you want and then still feel like you belong and can see yourself in the channel. I mean, I don't know, hopefully I have all these aspirations of what my channel could be, and then we'll see what happens. Next question is, what challenges do you think starting a YouTube channel will be the hardest to overcome? Oh my God. Okay. One would be imposter syndrome, because you watch people that have been doing it for a long time and have really good technology and access to things that are amazing. They know how to use them. Their editing is amazing. Their lighting is great. They never mess up when they're talking. They instantly have a ton of followers. You know, all of that. It's like that imposter syndrome thing of feeling like, I can't do this, I don't belong, what am I doing? I think getting over that mental barrier is a big thing. I think also that part of social media where we compare ourselves to other people constantly is one of the big things, even in the booktube community. I think finding your niche is also challenging for some people, because you might read a lot of different things, and so sometimes it can be hard to find your place as someone that reads a lot of different things, because the booktubers that tend to get a lot of followers are ones that primarily read fantasy, primarily read young adult fantasy, read romantasy, you know, read specific things. But I think none of that matters if you're doing it for you. If you're doing it as something to do for fun, I think that looks very different than if you're doing it to make money. I have never done it to make money. I've been privileged that I don't need to have my YouTube be a monetary income thingy for me. I don't even know how that works. I think that those are kind of like the biggest barriers, just like your own brain and then access to the things that people have to make a YouTube channel. But I think that there have been people that have a ton of followers that don't edit, that use, you know, a crappy webcam that they have had for 10 years, that just film on their phone. I mean, I film on my phone. I think it just, you can find your place. I think you just need to give yourself a chance and be authentic and let people see who you are, instead of trying to fit into the narrative of what you think people expect you to be or what other people are doing. I think it's important to just be okay being yourself and let others find you. And yeah. The next question is, what are you most excited about for this channel? Being back and just talking to people, hopefully making some new friends, and just being back in the world of people that are it's a very comforting environment. So I just excited to have this outlet and to be able to talk to y'all and learn about what you read, and yeah. And then the final question is, what question would you ask your favorite booktubers? I would love to ask people, like, what is one thing that you will remember about your time on Booktube? Because there have been a lot of booktubers that have come and gone over the years. And even like the other night, I made chicken tikka masala for dinner and realized that the recipe that I use is from a booktuber who doesn't make videos anymore. And I was like, no! Like, it bummed me out thinking about all the booktubers over the years. So I would just want to know from the people that have stuck with it, or the people that are new that are going to do this for, you know, however long. It's just like, what's one thing that you will remember about your experience of being in this community? So that's everything. If you have done the Booktube Newbie Tag, whether it's this one or a different version, let me know. I would love to watch. I love watching, even if you've been around for a long time, I love going back and watching the Booktube Newbie Tag to like learn a little bit more about everyone. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any additional questions about my reading or anything like that, feel free to ask. And that's it. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.